Welcome back, and this weekend I'm going to teach you guys how to make homemade Danish pastry from scratch. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, you guys are going to need all-purpose flour, and please make sure you guys weigh all the ingredients. Here I have some sugar, some sea salt, yeast, butter, vanilla extract, eggs, and milk. Alright, now let's make sure that my yeast is still active and alive. I'm going to warm the milk for about 40 to 45 minutes. And then I am going to add milk in here in a bigger jar. And then some sugar, just half of the sugar. I say about 3 tablespoons of sugar in there, or about 45 grams. And vanilla extract. And next, about 2 teaspoons of yeast, or about 1 package, and mix everything together. And we're gonna wait for 5 minutes, and you're gonna start seeing the foam floating on the surface of the yeast mixture. You see, guys, it means the yeast is still alive and active. Yay! All right, now let's mix all the dry ingredients first. So here's about 500 grams of all-purpose flour, or about 4 cups of flour, and then some sea salt, all the sugar, 45 grams of sugar, the rest of sugar, and mix well. And then I am going to add all the wet ingredients. So first here, yeast mixture with milk, and then egg, large egg, and then we're going to mix well. Knead with your hand for about 10 minutes, or if you have a stand mixer with a dough hook, let's use that. And then just put it on medium speed and then just knead it for about 10 minutes. And you're going to notice that the dough is really sticky. So if that happens, it's really hard to knead, feel free to get some oil on your hand or some butter, or add some flour, but not more than 3 tablespoons of flour, okay guys? Because the dough is supposed to be sticky. So once the dough comes together nicely like this, add about 4 tablespoons of soft butter, like room temperature butter. And then you're going to form the dough into a nice round ball like this, okay? And again, see, the dough is a little sticky, and that's okay. We're going to get a very nice and crispy pastry. And here, using a stand mixer, you can do that as well. Make sure you guys use a dough hook like this on medium speed for about 10 minutes, or until everything is nice and uniform. Then you can stop and rest the dough, okay? So here, my sticky dough, I'm going to add some flour. So maybe about 2 tablespoons of flour, or some butter in here. Again, add some flour, not more than 3 tablespoons, okay guys? Because we are going to be using some more flour when we knead the dough, and when we laminate the dough and the butter together. Alright, after kneading for about 10 to 15 minutes, the dough is ready. I'm going to move the dough and rest it in a clean bowl like this. You can add some olive oil or some butter, and then put the dough, your sticky dough, in here, and cover with a damp cloth, kitchen towel, and rest it for about 10 to 15 minutes while we are preparing the butter to use in this recipe. It's not gonna rise because It's not very hot during this time, so it's perfect. All right, you can also form it into a nice round ball like this. And here we go. Say bye-bye, dough. Be good. Next, let's prepare the butter. I am using about 340 grams of butter or about 1.5 cups of European butter, which have high fat content. Perfect for this recipe. Here is my plastic bag, about 6 inches square. If you don't have plastic bags like this, feel free to make one using parchment paper. Just fold them into a nice envelope, 6 by 6 envelope like that, and then just roll the butter until you get a nice flat block of butter, 2 of them, so 340 grams, so 170 grams each. Now we have 2 blocks of butter, so we're going to chill them in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. Alright, time to turn the dough. First, sprinkle some flour. Remember, I told you guys we are going to be using more flour later. And now here you have your dough. We are going to shape the dough into a rectangle. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see how I do it. If you have a big rolling pin, use that. I'm using this little one because I want to make sure you can see it. See, my son's trying to help. Here we go. And we want to make sure we work with a cold dough, okay? Ideally, you want to make sure that the dough and the butter has the same temperature. Okay, if possible, just keep it cool. Just keep it cool like that. It's a little difficult using this little rolling pin here. Okay, just roll the pastry dough into a rectangle with the short side facing you like this. Okay, now we're going to roll again to a rectangle approximately 6 by 12 inches. So here, this short side is about 6 inches. Remember the butter blocks that we prepare, it's 6 by 6. Right, now we are going to do the first fold. Okay, so here, if you're not sure, you can also use a ruler just to see if it's actually 12 inches long. Here we go. But don't stress out so much about this, okay? If the butter fit in here, that's fine. And here we get this very nice and pliable butter, not too hard, not too soft, like this. Now we are going to use a scissor or a knife, cut the plastic wrap like that, and remove the butter out. Alright, let's wrap the butter in the dough like this. Place the first block of butter in the center and then use this dough to cover. Make sure you can cover it like this. Cover it up like that. And then we are going to put another block of butter here. And we're going to fold the dough down to cover it. And if the dough is still cold, you guys can actually start to do the first fold here. But if it's really soft, let's rest this in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. Okay, guys? Here we go. Let's rest it a little bit before we do our first fold. Okay, I am going to rest this dough for 15 minutes in the refrigerator. And after 15 minutes, just sprinkle some flour again. Take the chilled dough out. Here you guys can see I'm trying to roll the pastry dough into a rectangle again. Again, with the short side facing you. We're gonna roll to a rectangle, again 6 by 12 inches. Alright, let's make our first fold. Here we go. That's the first fold. Now we are going to cover with a plastic wrap and chill in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Okay, after 15 minutes, do the same thing. Sprinkle some flour, take the chilled dough out, the pastry dough out, and we are going to roll the pastry dough again into a rectangle 6 by 12 inches. Now this time we're going to fold the dough into thirds like a business letter. You are going to, okay, can you guys see? Let me try to move it closer so you can see. All right, here we go. Let's chill in the refrigerator for another 15 minutes. Now after 15 minutes, we are going to repeat the same step again. So this is our third fold. Again, roll the dough lengthways again with the short side facing you to about 6 times 12 inch long again. Fold the dough into thirds like a business letter. Again, it's a matter of just, do this again and then rest it in the refrigerator, walk your dog or eat something and then set the timer and come back and repeat. Only us who making the pastry dough from scratch. You guys are the best. I am so proud of you guys. But if you don't feel like making the pastry dough, feel free to buy the frozen already made one, okay? I totally understand. All right, after the third fold, you guys going to transfer the dough into the refrigerator for about 1 hour to 2 hours. Take it out, and we are going to roll the dough again into 6 by 12 inches rectangle. But this time we're going to divide into 2, okay? And then we are going to place one in the refrigerator while you work on the second one. Here I'm just placing a plastic bag to make sure that it's 6 by 6. Now I have 6 by 12 inches rectangle, and I'm going to divide into 2, just like this. And then we are going to rest this 2 pieces of dough in the refrigerator after 2 hours or more if you like. Okay, after resting the dough for at least 1 to 2 hours, we're gonna take one dough out, and we are going to place the second one in the refrigerator while you work on this one. So again, we're going to roll this. Now this time, I am going to roll this dough into 12 by 12, okay? If you guys want to roll it into 9 by 9, it's totally fine, okay? Just to make sure that we can actually divide them into 4 pieces of square or 3 pieces of square equally. So you guys can actually roll the dough into 13 by 13, so you can trim the edges on all sides and get 12 by 12 inches square, okay? Trimming will open the folds and give a better rise. But if you don't feel like trimming, that's okay because it's your pastry. You can do whatever you want to, and you're gonna be enjoying this and loving this anyway. Again, guys, you don't really have to roll into 12 by 12. You can roll into 9 by 9. Okay, and then just make sure you can, cut them into squares equally. 9 by 9 actually will give you a very nice thick pastry, which you might like it better than a very thin one. I actually ended up just kind of stack them on top of each other because I want a very nice and fluffy pastry, and it looked very, very beautiful. So do that, okay? So here I'm just going to trim them into nice square of 3 inches on each side. Make sure I mark like 3 here, 3 inches, and 3 inches. Now I got 4 pieces, and again here 3, 3, 3. And now I'm going to use a pizza cutter to roll and cut it into a nice long rectangle like this, and just follow the marks that we make earlier. And here we go. I have all these beautiful squares. We're gonna rest this in the refrigerator and use this in class tomorrow. All right, now next let's make pastry cream. So here we have all the ingredients. I happen to have 6 egg yolks left over from my French macaron project, so I'm going to adjust the recipe accordingly. First, we're going to heat up the milk for about 1 minute in a microwave, or you can also put it over stove top, and then add the egg yolks in, some sugar in later, and then some vanilla extract. And if you guys want to add some salt in here, usually I sprinkle some salt in, maybe here or maybe later. You don't really have to, but I highly recommend using some salt here. And then just whisk everything until it's nicely combined like this. Add some cornstarch. I used about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch here. Okay, next, add some hot milk while whisking it like this continuously to prevent the egg from cooking or getting any lumps, okay? All right, here I added about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix well, and we're going to strain to remove any lumps from the custard mixture, so you guys get a very nice and smooth custard toward the end. Okay, remove all the lumps, and then we're going to place the custard mixture on medium or medium-high heat. Mix, mix, mix. Cook and stirring continuously until thick. And now you guys get nice and thick custard. It's time to add some butter in here and let it melt or mix it until it's melted and become nice and smooth. Whew, finally done. Let's cover this with a plastic wrap like this. Make sure the plastic wrap actually touched the surface of the custard so it doesn't form any skin, and then put it away in a refrigerator and use it on Sunday. So this is what we are going to make on Sunday. I can't wait to show you guys how to make it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm looking forward to see you guys in class. Bye-bye.